Good evening. Let us begin with the current affairs session for July 4th. So, the very first article is 9 internal security challenges. So, this topic, from the mains perspective, it is a topic from General Studies Paper 3, that is internal security. And from prelims, it is under current events of national importance. So, what is the ongoing story? Let us try to understand. Prakash Singh writes, the dust of elections has settled. Finally, elections and the saga of the election has finally settled. So, after this, the government should have a concrete plan for the next 5 years. And in this next 5 year planning, the focus should be on internal security. And Prakash Singh has mentioned about the 9 challenges which are there with respect to internal security of India. So let us try to understand what are those 9 challenges where the government needs to focus on. So the very first thing he says that we need an internal security doctrine. So there's a need for internal security doctrine. Now, it further elaborates that ideally any country should have a national security doctrine. And with respect to India, this doctrine has been repetitively framed by National Security Advisory Board. So you can see over here, it's mentioned that the National Security Advisory Board has from time to time worked on and prepared drafts. But for different reasons, they were never approved. Okay, so though the different drafts were being framed, but they were never ever approved. So on the priority basis, we require an internal security doctrine. So that is the very first thing that is being mentioned over here. The second thing it says that we need internal security ministries. So already there is Ministry of Home Affairs which looks after internal security matters. But the article goes on saying that already the Ministry of Home Affairs is burdened. So as a result, to deal exclusively with internal security, we require a dedicated ministry. So if there is a question on internal security, challenges, solutions, you can write this. There is a need for a dedicated internal security ministry. Then the third challenge here, it is mentioned about fixing the issues with respect to Jammu and Kashmir. So it's mentioned that the state is far from normal in spite of Home Minister's claim that the terror incidences have reduced by 66% since the abrogation of Article number 370. But article here mentions that the government need to fix the issues with respect to Jammu and Kashmir. Fixing in the sense we need to enhance the security grid over here. We need to restore. It is being mentioned that restoring the status of statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. That is now at present it's a union territory with legislature, but it is being mentioned over here. We need to restore the statehood back to Jammu and Kashmir, and we need to hold the elections for the assembly. So these are the three important things. Let's come to the next. Fourth, it is talking about handling the issues in Northeast. We know that the Northeast ethnic issues and all were prevalent last year. We had seen that there were conflicts in Manipur. So all that has to be rectified. Fifth, the problem which we are grappling with, that is a Naxalite problem, so that has to be tackled. Sixth, Intelligence Bureau and CBI needs to be empowered. Seventh, we require a dedicated reforms in the police force. Eighth, empowering central armed police forces, so that needs to be done. And ninth one, it says that there is an immense scope for use of technology with respect to enhancing the security conditioning of India. So it talks about technological input. So these are the 9 things being mentioned that we need to take into consideration with respect to tackling India's internal security challenges. Coming to the next article. So next article, it is with respect to air pollution, and a study was conducted by Lancet. So according to the Lancet study, air pollution is a reason behind 7% of the deaths in 10 cities of India. Okay, so 7% of the deaths that occurred in the 10 cities of India are mainly because of the air pollution. Okay, so the topic is from environment perspective, from mains perspective. It is it is under GS2 and GS3, government policies and interventions and environmental pollution. So what is mentioned over here? What is the ongoing story? So it says that about 11.5% of the deaths that occur in Delhi every year, 11.5, that is approximately 12,000 people die in Delhi every year, mainly because of air pollution. So we all are aware that Delhi is suffering from this issue of air pollution. The cases of asthma, lung cancer are increasing in Delhi year by year. And year Furthermore, it is being declared that every year 12,000, approximately 12,000 people die in Delhi mainly because of air pollution. And this is highest for any city in the country. Okay, so no other city sees uh, death due to air pollution on such a large scale as it is being seen in Delhi. And this study is being conducted by Lancet. Now, what are the key takeaways from this study? So, across the 10 cities, so 10 cities surveyed over here: Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Mumbai, Pune, Shimla, and Varanasi. So, across this 10 cities, more than 33,000 deaths, okay, that is 7% of the deaths, are attributed to air pollution every year. Okay. Uh, while assessing the 10 cities, it was being noticed that Shimla has the lowest mortality burden with 59 deaths every year, which is 3.7% of the total death contributed to pollution. Okay, but overall, if you see, if you consider that these 10 cities, 33,000 people are dying mainly due to air pollution, and from Delhi alone, the figure is 12,000. Okay. Further, it is being mentioned that the study found that, so you can see here last point, the study found that 1.42% increase in the mortality for every increase of 10 micrograms in PM 2.5 level. So, for every increase in 10 micrograms of PM 2.5 level, we see that there is rise in mortality by 1.42%. So, this is an important thing which you can quote in your mains answers. Okay. Further, according to the State of Global Air Report, air pollution has caused 8.1 million deaths around the world in 2021, and China and India are leading. So, China 2.3 million and India 2.1 million out of this 8 million. So, so you can see that more than 4 million, that 50% of the deaths happened due to air pollution in two most populous countries of the world belonging to the continent of Asia. That is, they are China and India. So again, this data is significant. Okay. Now, there was a question in UPSC preliminary examination 2016, which we can try here. In the cities of our country, which among the following atmospheric gases are normally considered in calculating the value of air quality index? Okay. Now, always remember that in any index which is with respect to monitoring of the air quality, usually carbon dioxide is not taken into consideration. Okay. So, if you see the option carbon dioxide, eliminate there and there itself. So, I'm eliminating carbon dioxide. So, if I eliminate carbon dioxide, you can just look at the options. So, 1 gaya. So, option number 1 went, C went, and D went. So, what is the answer? 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now, let us come to this. So, Central Pollution Control Board, it considers 8 pollutants for calculating air quality index. Okay. So, which are these 8 pollutants? So, you can see over here. So, particulate matters 2.5, 2.8, then nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone, ammonia, and PB, that is lead. Okay. So these 8 parameters are taken into consideration while calculating air quality index by Central Pollution Control. Okay. Let's come towards the next article. large gap to bridge in quantum capabilities report. Okay. So this is from the science and technology perspective, prelims and mains. Okay. So what is the ongoing story? So it says that India may have done the right thing by launching 6,000 crore national quantum mission. So last year, that is 2023, India launched national quantum mission worth 6,000 crore. Okay. So it says that India has done a very right thing by introducing this. But then it says that there exists gap, capabilities gap with respect to India and the leading countries in the quantum computing. So leading countries, when I say USA is the leading country, China is the leading country. So the level of investment they do and the level of investment India is doing, there's a gap. So though India has done a good job by launching the mission and deciding to invest 6,000 crore, but if you look at the investment gap, it's much on a higher side. Okay. So what are the key takeaways? Let us try to understand. The assessment is being done by Itihasa. It's a non-profit organization. So assessment says that definitely India has done a commendable job because only 17 countries are there in the world who have a dedicated government program in quantum technologies, and India is one of those 17 countries. And there are only 12 countries who have committed separate investments for the quantum computing. Okay, so there are 17 countries, those who have framework. India is one of those, and there are only 12 countries who are also spending, investing on quantum computing. So India is one of those countries. Okay. So further it says that India has allocated 6,000 crore, which amounts for 0.75 billion US dollars. And it would be for 5 years. The mission at initial stage is for 5 years. Okay. But then it further says that if you look at the other countries, USA and China, they're far ahead in this race when we compare them with India in terms of the investment and also in terms of the research and publications and patents. If you talk about publications, patents, we are nowhere when it comes to USA and China. So we need to focus there as well. Okay. When I talk about quantum technologies, they basically exploit the properties of subatomic particles. Okay. And they harness the properties of the subatomic particles, especially electron is being harnessed over here. And quantum computing, it uses qubits. Okay. So the technology is on the basis of qubits. And quantum computing, it has the power to perform tasks which are impossible to be performed in a dedicated time frame by the normal or the classical computers. Okay. So hence, this is a very important and upcoming technology. India's National Quantum Mission, which was launched last year, it aims to develop the capabilities of India in the four sectors. So first is quantum. So we are planning to use this quantum technology in quantum computing, in communication, in sensors, in metrology. Metrology is the science of measurement and material technology. Okay. So that is being mentioned over here. Further, the article also says that we have a separate dedicated cadre for science and technology. So it says that similarly, we need to have, like we have a separate dedicated cadre for space sector, for nuclear. So we have space scientists in India, we have nuclear scientists in India. On the similar lines, we need to have even a separate dedicated cadre for quantum computing as well, for quantum mission as well. Okay. So you can try this question. Quantum computing uses which of the following? So answer is qubit. So this was a similar question was there in UPSC preliminary examination. So answer is 3. That is qubits. Okay. So let's move ahead. So the next article, it's from the economy perspective. The headline is In Integrated Partnership of Global AI Group with OECD. Okay, so we all are aware that there is a global partnership on artificial intelligence. Okay, and then we have so article says that so during the 6th Ministerial Council meeting of Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, GPAI, the group mentioned that they announced an integrated partnership with OECD. Okay. So basically, Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence and OECD, they have talked about integrated partnership on artificial intelligence. Okay. Now, while they have announced it, but while coming to conclusion, there were some issues. Okay. Trade-off means there were some issues, especially for India. So let us try to understand it. First of all, let us try to understand what is Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence. So Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence is an international initiative established in order to guide development and utilization of artificial intelligence, okay, adhering to human rights and democratic values. So this framework, Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, it was proposed by Canada and USA during the G7 summit in 2018. So it was proposed by Canada and France in the G7 summit in 2018, and subsequently it was launched in June 2020. Okay, so it was formally launched in June 2020. And one more thing you need to remember over here is that the secretariat to GPAI, it's being provided by OECD. So OECD hosts a dedicated secretariat which carries out all the activities, governing bodies and activities of GPAI. One more important thing we need to remember is that India is the lead chair or the chair for 2024 of Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence. Okay. So once again, I will just summarize this. Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence and OECD, they are planning to form an integrated partnership on artificial intelligence. Okay, some sort of integrated partnership. Up till now, the details have not come, and there are issues with respect to it. Okay, especially from the India's perspective. So that we'll try to understand. Before that, we have understood what is Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence. So it is a dedicated framework proposed by USA and Canada in 2018, and subsequently it was formed in 2020. Please remember, its secretariat is hosted by OECD, and India is the lead chair for 2024. You all must be aware about OECD, the full form for OECD, that is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. There are, as of now, 38 countries who are the members of this OECD, and these are typically those countries who are very high on their GDP. Okay, so you can say the top market economies of the world, they are a part of it. India is not a part of it. It was established in 1960. Okay, so OECD was established in 1960. Its headquarters, it's located in Paris. Okay, Paris, that is France. So let's move ahead. So what are the concerns? Okay, so the concern is that India and also large part of the developing countries, they are not the members of OECD. Okay, though India is the chair of GPAI 2024, and if GPAI and OECD are trying to enter into some sort of partnership, but then the issue is that India and many of the developing countries are not the members of OECD. Okay, so the partnership, it is said that it would be AIGO, Artificial Intelligence Governance. Okay, so if GPAI was to undergo artificial intelligence governance, definitely it is very essential that there should be the developing countries, even their say has to be taken into consideration. But the issue is that the major of the developing countries are not the part of OECD. Okay, so that is the issue over here. The second thing is that India is of the opinion that the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence should have its own dedicated secretariat. Now, just now we learned that GAPI secretariat is under OECD, okay, and India is not a member of OECD. And India says that no, we require a separate secretariat. Okay, so you need to remember this. There can be a preliminary question: who hosts the secretariat of GPAI? OECD. Okay, please remember this. And India wants that there should be a dedicated separate secretariat for OECD. Okay. So as we saw that the GPAI was launched in 2020. Initially, there were 15 members, and so currently there are 29 members. Okay, so now we have 29 members. Okay, and India is a founding member of it. So first three summits were conducted in Montreal, that is Canada. Then the second summit happened in Paris. Here it is mentioned. You can see the last line. Yeah, Montreal, Paris, and Tokyo. The first three summits happened here. Okay. Yeah. So we can try this question from 2020. With the present state of development, artificial intelligence can effectively do which of the following? See, artificial intelligence, the technology is continuously upgrading, but it is said that at present, that is with respect to 2020, what are the things that AI is capable of doing? Okay, so let's have a look at the options. Okay, bring down electricity consumption in industrial units. Fine. See, uh, consider that we are a non-science background students. Okay, so how to tackle such questions, right? So AI, can it bring down the electricity consumption in industrial units? How? Okay. So for example, you have an AI, okay, it will give you the reading that the monthly electricity consumption is so and so. So you will come to know, oh, I'm exceeding my limit. So if you come to know you are exceeding your limit, you can definitely take some rectifying actions to reduce the consumption limit. So definitely this can happen, that it can help us. Okay, even at our home, we can use AI technology. We can integrate it with our electricity meters and we'll get like monthly units. For example, in a month you consume 30, your target was to consume 25 units. And in the around 20th July of the month. Okay, so your target was you will be consuming 25 units in the entire month of July. But at the 20th July, you got an indication with the help of AI that you have consumed some 24 units. So 10 more days to go. So what you can do? You can reduce your consumption. Okay, so definitely that can happen. Now the next thing is that create meaningful short stories and songs. Okay, so I feel that yes, with the help of AI, we can do it. Uh, we can make some short stories and we can make songs, but create songs, writing a dedicated songs, that is a dicey thing. So yes also and no also. I'm not very sure at this stage AI can create songs and short stories. Maybe in future this can happen, but at this stage I have not learned from anywhere the AI, like I have not heard in any news or that AI has created any song. So I'm not aware about this. So I am in a dicey situation. So let's keep this on hold. Okay. So I don't know what is the answer for this. Disease diagnosis definitely can happen. Text to speech conversion, yes, definitely can happen. Wireless transmission of electricity. So this technology has not yet developed anywhere where the electricity is transmitted wirelessly. So definitely this is not there. I know that this is wrong. So what I can do over here, I know that fifth is absolutely wrong. I'm doubtful about two. So I'm very much confident fifth तो होगा ही नहीं. So let us look at the options. तो किसमें fifth है? Just eliminated. 5, 5, 5. Okay. So now what is our conclusion? So conclusion is answer should be B, 1, 3, and 4. So 1, where we also came to a conclusion that this is a correct statement. 3, yes, we also came to a conclusion that this is correct. 4, yes, correct. Hai. We were doubtful about this, correct? And from here only we got an answer that this is not the answer. Fine. So like that you can tackle such questions on science and technology. Okay. Let's come to the next article. What labor's win could mean for India UK free trade and agreement. Okay, so this is a topic from current event of national and international importance. Apart from that, it is a topic from economy section. GS2, it is a topic from GS2 policies of developed and developing countries affecting India, Indian diaspora, also GS3. Okay, also GS3, Indian economy, fine. So what does the article say? So article says that so we all are aware that the UK underwent elections. There are two major parties in UK, Labour Party and Conservative Party. So the Conservative Party Prime Minister was Rishi Sunak of Indian origin. But now Labour Party has achieved a historic, it is said that the Labour Party is winning comfortably. Okay. So now Conservative Party will go and Labour Party will come in power. Okay. So Labour Party after 10 years will come into power. For 10 years it was in opposition. Now it will be coming into power. Okay. So what will be the key stake for India? So India and UK, they are undergoing a negotiation discussion with respect to entering into free trade agreement. Okay. Now it is said that once the Labour Party will come into power, okay, the landslide victory for the Labour Party could see that once again the negotiations would begin between India and UK on a free trade agreement. And it says that it could lead into the changes in the free trade agreement negotiations. Certain changes will happen because see, every party has their own program policy framework. So Conservative Party had their respective policy framework. So depending upon that, they decided the terms of free trade agreement. Now the Labour Party will be coming in power, so they will have their set of terms and conditions. So accordingly, the free trade agreement negotiations will undergo changes. Okay. So what are the key takeaways? Let us try to understand. So since UK unexpectedly voted in a referendum that is on leaving European Union, we know that Brexit happened. Britain came out of European Union. Ever since this has happened, we see that there is no political stability in UK. And until and unless you do not have political stability, you cannot enter into a big free trade agreement. So that is being highlighted over here. Since UK came out of this Brexit, there was no political stability, and as a result, the agreement could not materialize. Okay. Then it further says that if Labour Party wins comfortably, so there is an enough political legroom for India to sign a deal with UK. And currently, New Delhi is mainly seeking for temporary visas for a service sector. So we all know that the service sector dominates the GDP of India, and we really depend on the service sector for the GDP growth of India. So New Delhi is seeking temporary visas for its service sector workforce under the free trade agreement. Okay. And we know that the UK is a powerhouse in IT and IT related services, financial segment. So if India is able to gain this negotiatory deal with respect to visas for service sector workforce, definitely it will be in favor for India. Okay. So that is being mentioned over here. But the one issue which is on lines, that is the carbon tax. So we all are aware that EU has introduced a carbon tax, right? And India is in negotiations with the UK with respect to sorting relaxations to India with on this carbon tax. Okay, so that has been because it would affect Indian exports. Okay, so that's it. So it just says that once the Labour Party will form the government and all, there are possibilities that the deal would materialize and the negotiations will happen with respect to entering into free trade agreement. The next article talks about government to release funds till September 30th. Okay, 26 cities yet to get full center share. Okay, so what is this article? So from economics perspective, economics and social development, mainly it is an article from GS2 under government schemes. Okay, welfare schemes and infrastructure. Also, it can be a part of GS3. Okay. So we are aware that the smart cities mission is the deadline is being extended for the third time. Okay. So now the mission, smart cities mission, where the target was to develop 100 smart cities in India. So now it has been extended till to 2025. Okay. 31st March 2025. Right. And it is being said that whatever remaining funds are there in this mission, they will be disbursed till September 30 on first come first serve basis. Okay. So so what is being mentioned over here in the article, of the 100 cities under the smart cities mission, 26 are yet to get their 100% share from the central funding. Okay, so 26 cities, they have not yet received their 100% share. This is being reported by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and it is being said that the mission was about to end on June 30, but then now it is extended till 2025. And whatever remaining funds are there, they are about to be released till September 30 on the first come, first serve basis. Okay, so that is being mentioned over here. Let's come towards the next article. So the next article is about cabinet committees. So government forms 8 cabinet committees. All right. So let us try to understand. So this is a topic from Indian polity, mains perspective GS2. So what is the ongoing story? So Union government on Wednesday constituted 8 cabinet committees. Okay. So let us try to understand about the cabinet committees and which are those 8 committees. So first of all, cabinet committees are not constitutional bodies. They are not mentioned in the constitution. They are extra constitutional bodies. And the intricacies, the details about their establishment are being mentioned in the rules of business. Okay, so the very first thing you need to remember that they are extra constitutional bodies not mentioned in the constitution, and they are formed in order to lessen the burden on the government. Okay, and rules of business dictate their establishment. Okay, so the eight cabinet bodies are Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, Appointment Committee of the Cabinet, Cabinet Committee on Security, Cabinet Committee on Accommodation, Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, Cabinet Committee on Investment and Growth, and Cabinet Committee on Skill, Employment and Livelihood. Okay? So these are the 8 cabinet committees. So what are the key takeaways? So Home Minister Amit Shah, he is the sole cabinet minister who is on the panel of all 8 cabinet committees. Okay, so he's there on all the 8 cabinet committees. Prime Minister Modi, he heads 6 cabinet committees. Okay, so he's the head of, PM is the head of 6 cabinet committees, but he's not a part of. So please remember, PM is not a part of 2 committees. The first is Cabinet Committee on Accommodation, and the second is Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs. Okay, so you need to remember this. Prime Minister Modi heads 6 cabinet committees, but he is not a part of Cabinet Committee of Accommodation and on Parliamentary Affairs. Okay. Then no change has been made in the appointment committee. Appointment committee is the powerful committee. It does all the important central appointments. So it is headed by Prime Minister, and Amit Shah, Home Minister, is the sole member. Okay. And the composition of a Cabinet Committee of Security is also not changed, headed by Prime Minister. Okay. So there are 4 members: Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, Sitaraman, and Jai Shah. The next article is from the economy perspective, an unexpected bounty. Okay, so what is this article? So Rajeshwari Sen Gupta writes that with the new government at the center, this economic policy discourse has now shifted to speculating about the union budget 2024-2025. So this year being an election year, the budget which was released, it was the interim budget. Now the full budget will be released. So now everyone is speculating what will be the full budget. And RBI announced that they are going to increase. So last month, RBI announced that they are going to transfer a good amount of dividend to the government. So everyone is on that. So unexpected bounty is this only. See what unexpected the thing RBI is going to do, how much money is RBI going to release. Okay, so that is being there. So what are the key takeaways? So the writer says that in this budget, fiscal management should be guided by 2 general principles. Okay, so fiscal deficit should be around the 3% of the GDP as suggested by the FRBM Act. And it says that the government should spend more, like usually government spends more than this 3% of the GDP when the economic situation is not so good, and it spends less when everything is going on well. Okay, So the second thing, like that is spending more when the situation is not good, spending less when the situation is fine. This is done in order to stabilize the economy, and that has to be followed. That is being mentioned over here. So if this is being followed, then what will happen? It will keep the country out of the debt problem. Okay, it will stabilize the ups and downs, and there will not be any fear of debt problem. And this is a principle which is followed in almost all the countries. Okay, when everything is going on fine, you need to reduce your fiscal deficit. When the bad times are there, like for example, pandemic happened, so you have to do out of like way expenditure. So in that scenario, definitely the deficit will increase. Okay. Then in the interim budget, finance minister announced that government was targeting deficit of 5.1% for 2024-2025, and this is definitely a very higher level. Okay, higher than the pre-pandemic level and nowhere near the FRBM levels. Okay, so government has to work on it. And if you take into consideration both center and state together, so then this is 8.5 to 9% of GDP. Center alone 5.1%. But if you take both center and state together, 8.5 to 9% of the GDP, which is very much higher. Okay. Also, it says that the government debt has been more than 80% of the GDP. Earlier, if you look at the 10 years average, it was 74% of the GDP, but now it is 80% more than the GDP. And now recently, as I mentioned, that the RBI announced transferring the dividend. So RBI is planning to give 2.11 lakh crore to central government as a dividend, which is much more. So what government can do with this surplus dividend? Government can increase its capital expenditure. Okay, so capital expenditure is that expenditure which is spent on productive assets. Okay, so government should definitely spend this surplus dividend on the capital expenditure. Okay, so that is being there. Maybe attempted to step up its, okay. Uh, yes, to stimulate growth and to meet the needs of the economy. Let's, yeah. Also, further it says that the infrastructure is definitely a problem, so that needs to be tackled now. Further, the writer says that the government still should. It's not like that it should recklessly spend on the capital expenditure. There also it needs to control, because if it is spending too much, it will further result into fiscal deficit. Okay. Other facts: rights of the new workers. Okay. So on June 29, Labour Department of the Government of Karnataka released Karnataka Platform-Based Gig Workers Social Security and Welfare Bill 2020. Okay. And they have invited public suggestion on it. Now, this would make Karnataka as the second state after Rajasthan for having a legislation for gig workers. Okay, so Rajasthan is the first state of India to have legislation for gig workers. And now probably Karnataka will become the second state. So you need to remember this. The next thing on news is Maharashtra Zika cases. So Zika cases are being noticed in the state of Maharashtra, and center is asking the state to be vigilant, cautious, to do the screening of pregnant women and fetus. Okay, so that's it for the day. Thank you.